The Africa Food Systems Forum AGRF kicked off on the 5th of September at Julius Nyerere Convention Center, Salaam, Tanzania, at an occasion which was presided over by the President of AGRA, Agnes Kalibata, and opened by Philip Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania. This year's event saw different stakeholders in the agriculture sector gather under the theme Recover, Regenerate, Act, Africa's solution to food systems transformation.
What is at stake here is, if we don't do the right thing between now and the next few years, we will be the largest hungry continent, probably the only hungry continent by 2050.
The summit also saw the chief guest launch the 2023 Africa Agriculture Status Report.
Africa needs to harness existing scientific knowledge, including indigenous technology, to produce and process enough food for its people and for the global markets.
However, the critical conversation rotated around the use of industrial and synthetic fertilizers and the sensitive issue of soil health and fertility. For a long period of time, different activists have often come out to challenge the position of AGRA, which they link to promoting climate change and greenhouse gases, leading to dire consequences for health, biodiversity, and the death of important pollinators.
We can no longer measure food security and nutrition based on yields or high productivity, based on high input use such as fertilizer, hybridized seed, or GMO seed. This is very evident. This has failed. In the 21st century, we need to address the intersectionality of climate change, malnutrition, and ecological breakdown. And using this approach, we would never address these challenges and multi-crises that we are faced with now.
In his speech, Tom Kaho, the Deputy Director of Agriculture in the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, who are some of the biggest funders, acknowledged some of the challenges the African continent is facing.
I think when we look at fertilizer, soil health, and adoption, and particularly in Africa, it has to be the incentive for smallholders, farmers, to be able to want to adopt and look at adopting. And ultimately that looks at the overall markets and what they're doing. So we always kind of start with what's going on globally, because what happens globally has dramatic impact in Africa.
Despite the calls from the funders of AGRA to promote the use of synthetic fertilizers, the Minister of Agriculture and Animal Resources from Rwanda urged African countries to emulate what their country is doing. He emphasized the need to use conservation agriculture, which supports water efficiency and the use of organic fertilizers.
We also try to mobilize our farmers to use more organic fertilizers and develop or be able to manufacture their own compost from livestock, to make sure we do complementarity, because not only organic fertilizer, the mineral organizers will not make it until we combine with the organic fertilizers, and that our farmers have the capacity and the capability to make. We are trying to promote water efficiency, water use efficiency, and very recently we have graduated the first cohort of university students who were doing conservation agriculture.
Other experts in the field of soil health emphasize the importance of soil as a unifier and why it needs to be protected from chemical dangers, and the importance of the smallholder farmer.
I would recommend, don't forget to invite the smallholders, the SMEs, the innovators to the table to talk about future-proof products that we can have and need to have to sustain our soil health in Africa.
At C4ECRAF, we've been leading systematic soil and land health assessments, coupling it with participatory and assisted citizen science tools to engage farmers, landowners, pastoralists to monitor soil health, so we can finally fill those key knowledge gaps that people keep complaining we have about how land management influences and impacts soil health indicators.
The AGRF 2023 summit in Tanzania comes at a time when some women activists on the African continent are challenging the high productivity approach.
Women movement and ecofeminists in Africa are really looking for a politically, economically, and socially autonomous world where they can also champion change within society and in their lives. So the decisions that women are making are really decisions that will benefit society.
And note, when we talk about agroecology, many would want to tell us that we want to take Kenyans back to the use of the hoe. Agroecology is not about going back to the hoe. Agroecology is a science. Agroecology is a practice that embraces local systems, working with the scientists to improve our agriculture systems.
As nations continue to gather every on the African continent to find a lasting solution for food productivity and sustainability, more emphasis also needs to be geared towards the direction of climate change mitigation, conservation, and agroecology. Suhail Mugabe, reporting from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.